hello to the audience. On the new radio station, we bring it to you today. It's a fascinating story. It's called New Boys and Sisters. I invite you to listen. In the silent night, the crisp sound of an expensive motorcycle that I'm controlling, it's like tearing apart the darkness. Kick my number and give the car a faster ride. Hugging my waist is Tao. She volunteered to follow me for 2 months. Go around my apartment. Put your feet up and open the door. The sound of the VA lock touching the heavy gate make the cans quite loud. In the empty night, I looked up at my 3-story apartment, then hesitated to say, "Are you afraid of your parents at this late hour?" I laughed. What to scold? Besides, there is no one to blame. The old man is in one place. This is the house my parents bought me. He's on a business trip abroad and he's dating all the time. Not much to manage with the manager. And old lady, you have also moved abroad to settle. I also have a new husband. In general, forget about that life and go into the house. When I finished, I climbed up the car and then I'm going to go into the garage and wait for him to come in. That closes the door. I'm the bravest student in high school. I'm about to graduate and are planning to enter an international university environment. My new girlfriend is in 11th grade. Talk about you being a girl pampered by your mother. Education is okay, but to be playful and to love something new. At first I was a bit of a butter, but with the personality of a nerd. He is also the best in both schools. After only a few weeks, I have conquered her. We have loved each other ever since. Into the house, he looked across the room and clicked his tongue. Admit to being alone, but also clean and tidy. I thought someone like you. It's no different than a slum. I laughed in the summer, then go to the refrigerator and take the island water and give it to Cho Tao. Then I went back to making energy drinks. You don't have to clean. I hired people to clean the house for 3 days. Buy clothes and land on the machine. Generally, there is nothing to do. Eat at the restaurant. The fridge is full of ready-to-eat food, and you never cook. I thought you used to gather at home. If you have a habit of gathering, gather on the street. Home is a quiet place. For example, there is a counter. Go to the bar, not at home. Drink a glass of water in your hand and continue. We've been in love for months and now we know. I laughed and said I never noticed my lover. Only going out is good. Curly lips RA teased me. Compared to the goods, or the girls I used to shepherd, Tao is not comparable. It's not a long leg either. It's about 6 meters tall. The face is normal. It's about having white skin. Even if you go out with me, so much sun. But it doesn't catch the sun. It's called liking each other. But I was able to take Tao to the motel more than 10 times. The first draft is awkward, but trained by me. So it gradually reveals its own slut nature RA. Squinting at something I said, "Stop taking a shower and hang around all night, Mom." And he said with his red lips, "But I don't have any clothes." The original is not bad. Where else can you not see it but put it? I don't like it. I laughed and told the clown, "Just kidding, you can wear your clothes." When the cycle is over, after taking a shower, they both went to the bedroom. Because I have a very important job tonight. The next morning, I took the paper home to prepare. My parents also know me. They also ask about the circumstances. I know my family is rich with people, so it's not forbidden. They both drove to school, and the superintendent asked, "Why go to school?" I don't know why this school is banned female students from wearing shoes. I don't know how, I said. Would you let my friend go to school? The director glanced at me and acted. Who are you to ask me that question? Your friend broke the school rules and wasn't allowed in. Smiling at something I said. So let's see what you say to me. The principal. When I finished, I called. Let's just say that this school has a reputation for being public, but the money for infrastructure investment, then there's the funds in the campus building. It's all because of the parents' union and the donor powers. My father was the one who almost quit the money to build this school. And I'm familiar with 2 or 3 principals here. And hear me say that. The warden changed his face and replied. Who are you to say that? Even if you're the principal's son. Just follow the rules. I didn't say anything. I'm just on the phone. Ask the principal for a moment. He told me to be late today and talk to the supervisor. Just gave the machine to the supervisor. Then the overseer brushed his hand and said, I don't listen to anyone. If you don't follow the rules, don't go to school. I started pestering and turned on the speakerphone. 10 minutes later, the principal came down. When he saw the 2 of us standing outside, the principal asked, What's going on? Vin here is the superintendent at the school. When he heard me calling, he came back and said, I didn't comply with school rules. I'm late for school again, so I can't get in. I'm scared if my sleeve snaps. Dear, have you been hurt? I'm afraid to invite parents. I grabbed my lover's cheek and went on. Don't be afraid of any circumstances. Don't worry. Be invited to school anyway. He doesn't even dare to do anything to himself. Finished with Tao. I walked over to the gate to see what the 2 men were saying to each other. The principal told Mr. Vin. Let the 2 of them in. This school is owned by my father. Contributed a lot. Vin still seems to be discontented because my stubborn attitude should say. But they're both wrong. Wrong is wrong, but the right side of the nose. I know what you said to the 2 of us. I'm going to do it for you too this time. Hurry up and go to class. I sniggered at an unknown AI that mimicked AI. When I finished speaking, I was very happy to go to Tao Tung. Why is he so dark and afraid of you? And the principal. I laughed and told Tao about it. I'm sure your awards bought it all. Right, I said one and then another. You're not that stupid. Education is real. Is it real or is it tempting? All right, tell me your hand. I laughed and let Tao into class. Please be a little late. Then you text me back. Not in class, but down to the cafeteria sipping iced tea. Let's see if anyone goes online and pastures a little bit. At recess, my friends came down and said, The stomach is evil. I clicked my tongue. Is there anything good in class? There's nothing but the first flag salute. So today you're all wearing dressers. Your blood is really full of poison. They're eating bread and they're talking about a guy who said, Mrs. Trin's teaching looks delicious today. I don't know what kind of teachers dress. It's like service girls. I grinned and slapped my friend on the thigh and said, You're kidding. He's kidding. What blood? Come in and know. I was taught by her today anyway. You just watch it. Oh, you know that. We said go to school. But I'm actually just studying for my graduation. There are only 4 classes for studying like this. Not 5 periods like the lower class. Should be back early. I didn't have to take the exam because the points were straight. Moreover, he attended the universities of Viet Dung. Tell me you don't care. Walk into class and throw the bag down on the table. I sit up and play video games. Mrs. Trin's time is right. Hi, there. And still talking in a hazy way. I lifted my eyes and watched this teacher. It's what they say. I don't admit it's true. The outfit made the boys drool like a meter. The class is normal. Until you call me at the table to answer. I also answered through Mandarin, mostly teasing her. He threatened me at first. But the class president stood up and said this and that. So you know who I am. Tell my father to go home. Just sat down in a chair. The guy in the back slapped me on the shoulder. And say, can this bitch cover you? I see your young teacher is good too. It's charming. I click my tongue, it depends. More than that, I'm excited. Doesn't every plane jump up and fly? But this bitch looks itchy. There's no interest. That's what it says, but I know. It's a teacher like this. Then hurting is too simple. I laughed for an hour and waited to talk. Go to your mother's theater and say hello, Mom, for an hour. I'm back in the car. Then I see the Virgin in front of me. I'm going to scare her for an hour. Suddenly there were two of them. Exciter came closer and grabbed his bag. My mother was sick for an hour and then exclaimed, bandits plunder Water Village bandits. When the noise comes, they go. It's quite a distance. I kick the number and put my arms behind me. Into a familiar hole in the bag. To get the tool. What to do when the road is so empty at noon. Exciter is old to run with my car. Close to me. If you are wise, let the bag run quickly. The two of them also stopped. I saw the CBR bobbing. The other two were also quickly thrown away. Take the bag down the road, and I don't forget to say a word. You remember my face. I grinned and picked up the bag. Then drive back. In the afternoon, I called Principal Zhang. Please get Mrs. Trin's phone number and call. Hello, you're a hardcore and who was grabbed today? Who's talking like that? I laughed and said, she wants the bag. Go to the coffee shop on City Road. Let's get it back in about 3 o'clock. I hung up after talking. Let's see if this woman with a loud voice comes along. I didn't forget to open my pocket. There's a mini laptop. I opened it to see what was so unfortunate. The machine does not have a password, and in the dark, I saw folders called Feeling Memory. Open it, oh my god. Admit that you guys talk real. Look at the steel outside. No one thought this woman would go that far. In my heart, this is dead to me. I'll drive out in the afternoon. At exactly 3 o'clock, the Virgin was there. She was a little surprised when she saw me. I'll forgive you in class today, and you have something to say. A little surprised, I replied. What do you mean, why did you grab my bag? I roll up my eyes. Are you crazy? These two guys are messing with me? I didn't see you chasing me in the car out there. There's a problem with the eyes. I'm a little irritated to say that. Mary thought about it now and sat down. I'm sorry, Uncle. Give me the bag, I flung my jaw back. He put a nice bag on the table and said, that's your bag. Let's see if there's anything missing. Watch carefully to not blame the good people. The teacher took a look at the bag and smiled. Nothing to lose, thank you. How much are you going to give me? I sipped coffee and continued. I'll get my bag back. Stop thinking bad for good people. You can go home without losing anything. Don't mess with me in class. The basement and Mrs. Trin turned away. I like my grandmother's legs. It seems like something that's extremely indulgent. The next day, we drove together. Sitting in the back, try to make VA touch unworthy and say, yesterday I heard from my classmates. Are you kidding me about the dark arts? I grinned and said, Whatever is wrong with you, turn off the lights. How did you get hold of her? I'll show you later. After talking, I flew around to the tourist area with Tao. We rented a room and went to the movies. Go to the bathroom in a hurry. Because I know Tao's hobby, or bathing. Take a shower and come out. He came to me to suggest a book. Of course I approve. This is my passion that I can't give up. I did both twice before I stopped to talk. Hey, if you have a shepherd, don't be jealous. I'm not jealous, I hate it. What to hate? Maybe it's just fun to cross the street. There's nothing to hate. Having fun is not enough to have fun with you. A little bit, but you don't want to feel different. I can't. I know I'm sulky. I laughed in the summer and stood up and said nothing. Because they know my nature. If you say so, I do it normally. Take a break and I'll talk about going to the movies. And go home and take a shower. I'm calling the old man. Ask some shit for a while and then go to bed. Next morning to school. Then I saw my grandmother walking from home. Put the teacher's car in the conference room. Deliberately close, I said quietly. Great movies, miss. Acknowledge your true passion. So I'm going to class. There is no time for Christmas today, only a few. Just some natural subjects. I've got too much time for that, so I'm going out. Lao break. Call me down for a drink. Then introduce it to your friends. Look at you, you're short, not tall. So I wasn't impressed. There are some strange people sitting there talking. I picked up the phone and it turned out to be my mother. What's going on? I'd like to see you alone, would you? Not now, but I can be free this afternoon. My kind of empty talk. It makes the teachers extremely uncomfortable. She knew it was under her skin, so she said, I need to talk to you seriously. Then in the afternoon, I've never been serious. Mrs. Trin hung up the phone and I laughed. And put it in your pocket. I asked who called you. I squinted and replied to Trin, who told me to meet her. No matter what with the friends below. I'm hanging out with my classmates. Then wait for the weather and come back. I still have 5 lessons, so I play video games. When school is over, let's go home. Hugging my stiff waist. Let me go with you in the afternoon. I shook my head. A woman does something she knows how to curse at you. Not so now, but you can do it when you get out of school. You heard me say that. It makes my face, but then also my face. Because I'm so right. Both go back. Then I got a phone call from Mrs. Meet me at the old cafe. I returned her bag the day before. I nodded and waited that afternoon. When I came in, I saw my mother sitting there waiting for me. I sat down for a cup of black coffee and said, Why did you call me to the bar? You know what's on my laptop. I laughed and woke up. It's not much. So you've seen it all? I laughed and stooped and looked straight at her face and said, I haven't really seen it all. It's just too much, so I'm passing by. Don't worry, I didn't copy it. Listen to me say this. Her face widened a little. Is it true? I've never lied to anyone except the teacher. Mrs. Trin's face was so short that it was funny. I want to make fun of that face even more. She stuttered again. What do you want from me? I don't have much money. I said with a grin that you think I need your money. Money is probably not, so you need it. I know what you're referring to. So I hurried my hand. There's no need for that, you beautiful young girl. Then what do you need? I need. She's the godmother of my friend in this class. Finished talking, I gave her the student card I took from Tao. Then say, that's it, I don't need to ask for much. Are you serious? Well, I've never said 2 words before. But admittedly, you're pretty real. When she heard me say that, her face cracked. Both angry and scared. It was a funny face, but I kept trying. Ignore and talk about something else. She is a literature teacher. It's easy to talk to me. I can't believe inside of my ignorance. My personality is not so bad. Until 5 p.m., I went to the gym and got some books to read. I have a hobby of reading horror stories every afternoon. It's been over 8 hours since the book was finished. I hurried down to the dining car and called. Don't have time to drink water with me. Wait for me a little bit without studying, go for a drink. I know I'm scolding. I finish my homework and come with me. Tell me how it was this afternoon. Okay, wait a minute. I'll pick you up. I'll go to dinner and call the maid. Come early every day to clean up. Then fly over to Tao. Say hello to your mother for an hour. Then I drove out with Tao. Hugged me tightly and asked excitedly. But what did you tell her this afternoon? I didn't say anything, just scared. She's afraid to show the clip. General, look at the face, that was so funny. Do you have a claim on her? There is no claim. Such a delicious opportunity without a claim is SAO. Try to take advantage of the opportunity. What chance? When you're out of school, you don't have to force her. I just told you to take good care of me. It means making me learn more and better. I thought I'd give you a fake score. It's no different than accusing me of playing with you. Laughing at the look on my face. I laughed and said, that's a good education. The point is guaranteed, the second class goes to the ground. Yes, I will pay you later. I laughed and said something. Slight rustling on my hips. You know, just ask. But I told you to come home early, so I'll have coffee tomorrow. The 2 of you go into the coffee shop and blow the air. By sitting in the corner, so what you 2 talk about doesn't get out. Sit close to me and tell me. How do you see your friends today? Can you have any children? I came back to say, all bad girls. You're the prettiest of them all. Look at the front, kid. Generally speaking, only average. That way, normal kids can just gossip. I can't see your lover so handsome. What do you have to do to feed them? Say it when you see it. Of course they're normal. But they let it go. I pout my lips freely. If you're number 2, who can claim to be number 1? Those little black dwarves are sluts. Then you too. That's a bit wrong. I'm not even a 10th of them. You probably didn't know they looked black dwarfs. But the house is a bit bad. When I got home, suddenly my mother called me. It's kind of weird because no teacher ever called me. Come back at this hour. I'm sure Mrs. Trin called about the case. I can see it in my laptop. Pick up the phone, I answer. What's it like to call this at midnight? You want to flirt with students? No, there's no such thing. Why are you suddenly calling now? If there is no flirting with students, why call? You want to talk. I'll pick you up at the Green Phoenix bar. Oh, the teacher came to the bar and left the dance floor. Teachers are also human. It was human. 3 floors is normal. There's nothing to be afraid of. So don't be afraid of his students going to BA. He sees that. If you see it, it is not normal. Don't say much more there. Yes, I do. Drive the car out to pick up Mrs. I don't know what's wrong with this woman. He suddenly asked me to pick him up. As soon as I arrived, I saw the princess stand in front of the hall, laughing at the young guards. I drove over and said, "Where do you want to go now?" Out of the car. Mrs. Trin carelessly climbed up the back seat and hovered. "Let's go get another drink. I don't know where to launch, so we'll make a few rounds and then we'll go into a motel. Trin is drunk, so I had to take it up to the room with the receptionist. I threw her ID card away. 500,000 and drive back. I was just thinking, I'm not close. Call me to pick them up. It's like a long time ago. I was also stupid enough to pick it up. It's a straw hug. Come to my house and hum up. Just texting and talking to Tao. Don't forget to tell Tao. I just threw Trin at the motel and fell back to the Hermitage. Listen to me. I can't believe my writing teacher. They play essays so badly. They both went to bed late. I woke up late the next morning, so I couldn't pick it up. Go to school alone and drive outside of school. I walked straight in. Vin saw that I looked itchy eyes. But nothing can be done. Because Mr. Zhang, the school has talked into the anti-establishment temperance class. I'm out trading with the big boys. At school, the army and the con are the two best. They see me, they say, "Is this game good to play?" I asked him what was delicious. Some of you want to take pictures with a model car this week. I have 2 cars, but I still lack a car. You have a car. There are some good models, whatever. I'm very interested in hearing about car models. Because these girls are so delicious and so tall. I asked the 2 of them. What car do you need? My CBR or Play Z1000? The army said with a pout. Where does each CBR get our Z1000 at the 6? I bought it in the afternoon. It was the turn of the con. Is it real or is it slashing? Well, there's not much to say. Give the location, the time will be there before 30 minutes. Find the time and place here. The guy gave me the address and continued. He said he could eat for a few days. You guys are good models. All of you are the age of Tao. Khan even asked me. I love your bear. It's okay to be a car model. Let the photographers eat it. Photographers are very good at this kind of cheating. It's coming back. What are you worried about? And these girls' facades aren't huge. I laughed and said no, it was enough. I just laughed and kept talking to them. Pick up Tao at noon and go back to buy a car in the evening. This time, I have to review all kinds of exams. Free time with the 2 of you is almost non-existent. My father loves cars. So I said buy a car and make a phone call to the store owner. He said he had a new car, so he bought it. Saturday morning, I told him to go on business, so he went out with his friends. And I'm driving my new Z1000. Now there are some photographers I'm familiar with, along with some models who have been there. Today's model recognizes you. She's brilliant. They are almost 7 feet tall. I height 1m8. Stand up to them. I don't feel very confident either. 20 minutes later, 2 of my best friends arrived. When he saw me, he ran to ask. There's no car, there's a new car. 2 guys are excited to see my new car. Those 2 guys are riding a CB400 and a Z650. I'm the only one who's driving the biggest car. Glad to sit up for a while. And then 2 guys whipped their jaws at the Kia models and said, "You're all delicious. I can call you guys anyway." In general, looking for termites is the main thing. This girl is not a senior. I'm going to the ground. I nod yes. We sat in the wind for a while. So a guy from Ra's photography school asked Han. Then talk. He introduced himself as 2. Photography is over 15. After talking for a while, the clown laughed. If you like me, just send me a message. I laughed and said, who's that? He clicked his tongue. For some people, but for my brothers. Tell me what you like. Just wink at me. Shooting until noon. Then we all stop at a roadside stilt house. To eat wild animals of all kinds. Opportunity to get acquainted. I'm always on the air with the prettiest baby face. What's your name? My name is Tomorrow. My name is Courage, and I think you take a good picture. Apricot grinned and blinked to reveal 2 dimpled cheeks. That's lovely. I said that. I take pictures normally, but what matters is them. I'm just posing. What else is too standard? You're not short, you're fit. That's great. How tall are you? I'm 6 feet tall. Do you need to ask for 3 more rounds? I laughed in the summer. What is equal to that? You two have fun talking. And the army and Khan have been too Kia. I don't like their kind. So it's normal. Take a break for 3 hours and then go to CA for an afternoon shoot. I talked to the Jade more. Turns out she's about the same age. I'm only in 11th grade. I didn't think I was in 12th grade. And he looks so much tougher than his age. After dinner, the whole group stopped to eat. I called to ask Tao for a little while and told Nakmai. Do you have to go home now? Smiling Jade. No, I was bought by my parents for a small apartment. Come back whenever you like. There is no management. I find that funny. This type of boyfriend comes to stay comfortably. The Pearl glared at me. And turned away with an intimate smile. It's almost split now. Go away, 2 friends. I went ahead with the 2 of them. The rest of you were taken away by some of you. Hi, Mr. 2, the head of the photography team, and told Nakmai. Go home tomorrow. I don't want to go home, I want to go home. Where do you like to go to the bar? I want to go somewhere to see the sky. Or go to the sea. From here, it's about 45 to 10 minutes to the sea. If you like it, go ahead, but change cars. What car do you have? I just bought this yesterday afternoon. There's one at home. It's smaller, but it goes faster. You have so many cars. How much is 2? Come with me in the car and go home. On the way, the 2 of you had a good time. I also alluded to that. The Jade is quite loose in that. Prove I know too. This girl is no longer white. By the hands of many people. When I got home, I drove in and picked up the CBRA and came back with me. The Pearl launched into the sea. I was just asking about sex. The Pearl is not shy. Screw more than half GA hand. Half an hour later, they were on the beach. The road is empty now. There's no one but the lights. The yellow line sings long on the sidewalk. Far from the Black Sea, a glimpse of light from distant ships. The sound of the waves breaking against the sea breeze woke me up. Apricot closed its eyes. When you get in the shower, you like to know. Stop taking a shower. What else? Not too late to take a shower. I like to shower at dawn. It was a comfortable shower. I also took a shower at home before going to school. So, I'll call you at dawn. The Pearl glared at me. Suddenly I hugged and kissed the Pearl. At first, the Pearl pushed out. But a few seconds later, we're back together. It is difficult to compare Jade with Tao, because everyone looks like, but through a steamy kiss. I think that the Jade is also a bit more liberal. A little bit. My hands started to be controlled by instinct. The natural appearance of Jade. I know. I think Amoy is too good at this. Maybe there are a lot of people out there, so it's easy. The beach is very romantic. A piece of sand that's been swirled. After 3 poetic lyrical pieces. 1 hour later, they both dressed up and went home slowly. I just went and talked. It turns out that the jade has lost its ivory since I first started at BA level. That's why more experience is right. Half an hour later, we arrived at my house. At 2 o'clock at night, I went to bed with the jade. Before I go to bed, I don't forget to text you. He said he can't go to school tomorrow. So don't come pick me up. It was just after 10 a.m. when they both woke up and broke up. I drove the Pearl back to the apartment. Look at the clock, it's almost noon. This way the army and the Khan also went home. I'm calling for the 2 of you. A lot of troops. Did anything good happen to you at school today? It's nothing. Hanging out with me taking pictures yesterday until midnight. Go to school today and nod off. Khan is no different than me. In the afternoon, the 2 of them went out. I have to go to the supermarket and buy something. Miscellaneous that Tao. I like it and drive through the house. I look a little angry. I like it as a gift. We both went to the movies and talked. Did I go out with you yesterday? I forgot to go to school this morning. There is work in the afternoon. I'm thinking of opening a coffee shop. Funny smile eyebrow. Looking at the laughter, I saw that Tao was both slutty and good, not like the apricot. The next day at school, I met Mrs. When she saw me, she said, "Are you free for coffee this afternoon?" I seem to have said, "I'm sure you can show me the new show." As I said that, my mother gave me a look. I laughed and said, "Just kidding, 5 p.m. This virgin is only about 30 years old. Compared to women now. Almost 30 years old, know how to dress. If you work like this, you are young for a long time. Go to class and take Tao to eat tea and then go home. Go to school more in the afternoon, so I can't go out." At 5 p.m., we went to the coffee shop that Mrs. I can't believe this virgin came first. Today, she's in a bun. She's wearing a dress that looks great. I sat down in the chair and said what to drink. Black coffee has a little sugar. You're a little bit addicted to coffee. It's delicious. I have time to invite you out here today. When you dress like this, it's called you. It's not called you. I thought it was hard to call you. Almost at school, I call you grandma. What do you call it if you don't call it grandma? For example, it's called the old lady. She's not old, but she's called her. She's not called a virgin anymore. I would rather be called you. Talk about teenage things. Turns out this teacher knows a lot. The more I like the floor. Because this woman is very bloody. It was almost 7 p.m. when I said, "If you invite me to dinner, can I come with you?" It's okay to go, but I'm afraid of being jealous. When you hear that, you say, "What are you doing?" And there's no one to be afraid of. It's funny being single. I'm laughing and being single is funny. She fooled her eyes and said, "You can't say that. Come eat with me. Thank you for getting my bag back." Not used to big cars. So you seem a little embarrassed. But also used to. Hold me tight. I asked about the car. It's my thing, so I can do it right. Until we get to the bar. Go to a quiet corner and you will say, "Order something. If you want to drink, you can play with anything." I ordered a bunch of food and said, "Look at this. No one thinks you're a high school kid. You look like a fourth-year BA student. Look at you. It's not like this is a high school teacher. I think she's a devious woman. I laughed and drank beer together. Turns out talking for a long time. I don't see you very close. It's different from the serious face behind the mask. While in school, from education to miscellaneous things. But we finally got back to the problem of love. Intelligent Sister Trin said, I heard the students in the school talking. You are very talented girl. I don't know how many children have died. Also normal, because they're stupid, handsome rich people. The house is rich. Not rich, just enough to eat. But the principal has to respect some of that. I know, I heard Thin say. So it must be all the girls of the block. No need for fireworks. When you are born, you die. Look at your style. The whole school is dead. What is this? It's not like that. At another school on the street. It's a bit serious in school. I just laughed and said nothing. Look at the appearance of Trin. In general, it is normal. It doesn't seem to stand out. But when we talk to each other, it feels good. My mom was more open to talking. Talk about one thing after another. It's almost 11 o'clock to get up. 2 people out of half a can of beer. So my sister started being stupid. It was late to get in the car, so I said, home where you come back. Take me anywhere. Or go home, I don't want to go home. To the house. I opened the door and helped Trin into Cho's chair. And then the virgin slumped and reclined. But I can still talk. What a beautiful house. It's not normal around here. Doesn't every family make lemonade? Wake up. Too good. I made a glass of lemon juice for Trin to drink. After drinking, go to the toilet and vomit. After I vomit, I will drink water and wake you up. After drinking water, she looked at me. That's what GA looks like. Let's pretend people are drunk. I pout my lips. Look at the item. It's a little guaranteed, even more so when drinking. Not to fly a plane. I didn't have a driver's license and died. Okay, if you don't fly an airplane, you're just training pilots. Let's see if there's any training. You look like a good pilot. I'm going to take a shower to wake up. I can't believe it was just a drink. But how to address it? My distance and you shorten to. Where is the bathroom? I said with a grin. Just around the house. See where you can take a shower. He glared at me a long time. Trin went to the back and went to the bathroom. Half closed the door. Leave your clothes outside. I'm coming up to the room. I'll sleep next to your room. There are sleeping clothes. I'm going to the game room. Turn on the racing game and race without going to bed. About half an hour later, I saw her calling. Wow, I still have kids playing games. Just hit the steering wheel, the model I just talked about. What does gaming have to do with children and adults? Adults don't have the right to play games. Yes, why not? Adults can't play games anymore. Then you're playing adult games. Arguing like that is okay. My sister came into my room and said, my parents are away on business without a home. This house is my home. My parents broke up. Everyone has their own place and their own home. In general, my house has a lot of problems. She looked at the room and said, BA students broke Chi-Chi family. It's also very clean and tidy. Cleaning once every 2 days is not clean. I hired them, but there is no time. I just need to work overtime. When you get up, I hire you. Eat with no nonsense. I have now finished a race. I paused and turned to look closely at her. But my shirt is baggy. Should look after you. Virgin is shorter. Here's my shorts again. So the legs get shorter. I laughed and said, It's not bad to wear clothes like this. Well, in general. You can look bad at anything. It looks one color short. It is also close to 6 meters. Yes, that's too high. I was a little bit confused, she said. Why is it so bad to ignore people? A little bad, but dress this way and look attractive. Trin bent down. I looked from my feet at my head and said, "It's like this, but it's good to talk about." Just finished. Then she brought me to write my neck down and kiss me. That's a greedy woman. Such a surprise. I'm a little surprised, but then I'm in tune. Deep melody. Start the notes the first climax. It's been a long night. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, this is the story. Please close. Thank you for listening. Hello, goodbye, and see you in the next story.